Stand up. It's like Oprah.
Hi, my name is Evan, and I have a question. Toward the end, you mentioned on the publicity and editorial coverage regarding jazz.
Yeah.
I have the same concern for contemporary R&B. That's in the I guess with this particular genre, people always like to look at it in a past tense fashion.
Yeah,
example,
it's
Aaliyah's One of the Million album. In fact, her whole discography is now becoming a favorite of Pitchfork. Same with D'Angelo's first two albums.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what do you think is the fear in Pitchfork and other media in covering big albums that are contemporary R&B in nature?
Go. I don't think it's a fear. Like, I was shocked that Pitchfork got the Miguel record. Like, they gave it a great glowing 8.4 review, which I thought was a miracle. I just think that with the unfortunate thing about hip hop and R&B culture is that post 1997, which is this kind of winner take all mentality, which the other way of seeing it is that if you're not a winner, like those who are making it in hip hop and R&B, really making it are winners. They've won. The Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's of the world, the Kanye's of the world, we're winners. And the other side of that coin is kind of this whole thing of, well, you ain't shit, which, hip hop is big on that whole talk to the hand, you ain't shit culture. So as a result, there's a kind of scarlet letter stigmatization of not being cool to not win. So as a result, the idea of a subculture or an underground or a development stage really isn't embraced. Like, let's take R&B in 97, 98. Like, don't you find it kind of weird that the only way that you could see, let's take Brandy. Brandy, in that period, would be if she were opening for someone in a stadium level. Like, there was no Brandy at the Trocadero or Brandy at, at TLA, until the down period, I think when that album came out a year and a half ago, she did a club date, and I was like, oh, that's weird, like, because that was always in my head, like, how come modern R&B artists don't take the same route that rock bands did? That's the approach that we took. We played the same venues that rock bands were playing. And the answer, in short, is that, this whole idea of it not being a good look, I have no problems whatsoever with setting up a drum set here and performing in this environment, but some people, might have a problem with that. So, that's, unfortunately, hip-hop and R&B culture has eaten itself. So, really? Tight? Okay.
With the baseball hat on, I can't see it alone. Go ahead, stand up. Let's hear your question.
The question that I had, Amir, what do you think the effect of technology has had on the work ethic of artists and the ability to get to the 10,000 hours?
Good question, because I always remember the story of Swiss Beats. When I asked him about the Money Cash Hose beat on Jay-Z's In My Lifetime, he said, oh man, I made that beat in 4 minutes. I was like, wow, that's amazing, because then on the other hand, you take something simple, like With a Little Help from My Friends by the Beatles, and I knew that the version that's on Sgt. Pepper's was take 28. So, again, there's this just add water mentality that is up in the air. And, with Pro Tools and technology, it just makes it way, way faster. A root song would take 3 days to record, mix, and master, which is, you know, now we can do a whole album in that time period, in that 3-day period. Again, you can embrace technology, but at the end of the day, you still have to have the goods to deliver it. You know, you can get by for now, but you also can't cry if, you know, for being disposable or for being disposed. And that, I think, is one of the problems of accepting that this is a very disposable culture.
And ultimately, it's about working on the craft. I saw a hand up over there. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Andy.
Hello.
I'm from Denver. Just moved out here to Philly in August.
Wait a minute, you moved from Denver to Philly?
That's right.
He knows what's up.
A place where weed is now legal? Why would you ever do that? I'm not a weed smoker and I want to move to Denver.
I moved out here to start working at a local middle school called Beaver Middle School.
Okay, that's noble.
Overbrook, baby.
You're forgiven.
That's right.
Yeah, right. So, you know, we faced some tremendous challenges. The school district wanted to close us down. I work with a student that had an older brother that got shot and killed right outside of his school just a couple of weeks ago. So I was just wondering, Questlove, what kind of advice you have, one, for young people that live, particular in West Philadelphia or in Philadelphia in general, and then two, what kind of advice you have for an educator coming from a foreign land and trying to make a difference out here.
That is noble. You know, I know I was being lighthearted before, but no, that's very noble of you. I'm thinking about that myself because I'm just finding out my alma mater, Kappa, is on sort of the endangered species list. You know, I didn't know that, you know, they're short on funds and they're cutting costs in half and teachers are getting laid off and there might be a Kappa, there might not be a Kappa. You know, yeah, the short-term solution, of course, is, you know, how people in my position can raise money for it. The long-term solution on how to encourage kids and give hope, I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, I can't give my example, the example I lived, I think is unique in its own, and what's good for the goose might not be good for the gander, you know? I mean, I had parents that provided all these cool distractions to keep me, you know, kind of, even though I grew up in West Philly, in the crack age, you know, but I had strict parents that, I mean, the rule was that if that Oprah saxophone comes on at 4 o'clock and you're not home, you're on punishment. So, if you run on right before, as long as I beat it before that theme was, I was golden. I know it's cliche for don't give up, you know. For me, I think it's also important. How big is your class?
29.
That's a perfect number. When I started at NYU, like they initially wanted me to do this like 130 student thing, and I thought that was first I was a first-time teacher, so that would have been a disaster. I wanted the smallest class possible because I knew I wasn't going to reach all 24 of my students. My whole goal was just to reach 3 of them. And I figured that if I can just get to 3 of them, you know, then it would pay forward. So, if anything, I guess you have to encourage other people to make the sacrifice you did. That to me is a more realistic solution than just, you know, anything that comes from Michelle Pfeiffer movie.
Exactly. All right, we got time for